we're going to do this, but we're going to do it our way.
Jayce, and then...
All right, hold on.
Jayce it up for a few minutes.
All right. So be dumb. Got it. All right.
Why would anyone
You're
want
getting trouble one way or the other. So how much do you want is the question.
half of it? The least amount. You want the least amount.
All right. Is this what you want me to See, it's like, is this the part where I say thank you?
I have nothing negative to say about it other than
Nothing?
logic.
Nothing? Really?
Other
Nothing?
than a lot of things that I'm about to say.
Sitting in a winter sleigh,
No.
eyeing reindeer to pull me around the world. Oh, Santa Claus! And then I'll say
See if we
goodnight.
get it right. We will not get it right.
We will not get it right.
All right, I like it.
This is X Radio X.
Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, happy lunch hour, breakfast, dinner. I don't know where you're at. It's episode 34 of X Radio X. I'm Jayce.
Good day. I'm Matt.
All right, Matt, nice to see you. I know this week we're doing a bunch of podcasts because we got to get them in. This is like your hall pass week.
We have the time.
Yes, we have the time.
We have the technology.
So, since we have the time, we reached out to somebody who we used to play a lot on our college radio station that we worked at, WUPX 91.5, Marquette, Michigan. And there's an interesting story there. And boy, Matt, I hope you remember it because it has to do with a snowstorm and a concert in Green Bay and Marquette and all of that.
Oh, man. I vaguely remember.
Yeah. Well, this is where we probably should have called Dave Cole. But anyways, we are going to be talking to the guy who made my 15-year-old son guffaw when I played Pony the Penis for him in the car today on the way to cross-country practice.
Yes!
His name is James Kochalka SUPERSTAR.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here. Oh, man, that's so amazing that you mentioned that song because I have a friend whose daughter, is a young teenager, and it was like on her, like, I don't know, 13th or 14th birthday, she suddenly realized what that song was about. But up to that point, it had been her favorite song.
Oh, no.
Well, James, you'll be happy to know not only was my 15-year-old son in the car, my 20-year-old son was in the back seat. Somehow my 15-year-old wrestled the front seat from him, but they were both laughing and they both got it right away. Didn't miss a beat. 15 and 20-year-old boys, they don't miss that at all.
And we played that on Radio X quite a bit. I don't think it needed to be edited at all. I don't believe.
No, there's no bad words in it. It's just innuendo and it's hilarious.
Yes. Classic innuendo. like the old, the early rock songs back when rock was really raw and there weren't rules.
The rules were very fuzzy.
Yeah. Simpler
Like it
times.
wasn't going to get, like in the early days, it wasn't going to get played on the radio anyway. So you could sing whatever you wanted. And then, people started to figure out you could have hits and then you had to be a little more careful.
So that's kind of a good jumping off point, actually. When you're first of all, you started off doing art, right? Was that your first passion or was music there all along?
Oh, well, if you talk about my professional career,
Mm-hmm.
I think my first comic, like my first professionally published comic and my first album came out the same year.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
It's really been lockstep. Definitely started drawing comics first as a little kid, but I started making music pretty early too. In like junior high, I started writing just writing songs a cappella and singing them on a into a little portable tape deck.
Mm-hmm.
And doing skits with my friends, and then I'd sing a silly song, and then we'd do another skit. Most of it was really dirty.
Get
I
out
gotta
of here.
start somewhere.
Junior high kids doing dirty skits on a cassette deck.
Yes, no, it's perfect.
Tell me it's not so.
So one of the cool things about that I remember about James Kochalka Superstar is the music that was on. I know we had a couple different albums of yours at WUPX, and it crossed over pretty much almost every programming genre. Like it played in, like, people played it on the metal shows sometimes, and people played it on the punk shows. We definitely played it on the All Request because people were requesting it. It got requested quite a bit. I know.
I think that's on Monkey versus Robot, right? That's probably I think the album Monkey versus Robot was number one on your station.
Yes, it definitely was.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember. I know Monkey versus Robot was huge. I know Pay Respect to Michael Jackson. That was another song that I heard quite a bit. Ben the Stupid Brontosaurus.
Oh yeah.
Got a lot of play. Pony the
That
Penis.
one is okay. So Ben the Stupid Brontosaurus, sounds so different when we do it live than it does on that record. It's like total metal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, the band that I have been playing with for the last couple decades isn't that same band that I recorded the album with.
Okay.
And they just made everything harder and harder and harder until we kind of were a metal band.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, it does have the recorded one does have an edge to it. It does have that kind of. But you're saying that live it's even more metal than that?
Yeah. No, it's really, really metal when we play that one live.
So I did a show with one of my best friends named Ben. He did not like that I played that song when we did. He was not a fan.
Now I gotta say, I'm now going in another direction. And it's not so metal anymore.
Okay,
it got a little too metal for me.
See, I'm an old school metalhead. I
love metal, and in fact, I think metal might be like the fastest growing musical genre in the world at this point. I've read that.
Interesting.
Like
that makes me happy.
It's spreading to corners of the world. Like when metal was really big here in the early 90s or whenever
80s
it was.
through the 90s.
80s through 90s, right. Other parts of the world, it hadn't really hit there yet. And now it's starting to, like, there's lots of metal bands in Africa. Like, there didn't used to be metal bands in Africa.
Cool. Wow.
And I don't know, it's like Mongolian metal bands and,
the Who.
Oh, the Who. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who. Yeah. They got pretty big over the last couple of years. Well, if you think about it, this is Jason's opinion, is metal is kind of like baseball. You need a lot of things to make a metal band happen. You need electricity, and then you need electric guitars and a decent sized drum set. It's hard to play metal on a 3-piece club set. So you need those things. And in developing parts of the world, I don't want to say they're just getting electricity because that's not true, but a lot of areas are just getting access to all of those other things you need to make a metal band. That's my opinion on it.
Around, let's see, maybe 86 to 89, in addition to my Casio punk band, Jazz in Hell, which songs from Jazz in Hell have ended up on many albums since that time period. They're definitely on the first 2 James Kochalka Superstar albums, old Jazz in Hell songs, and then some later albums too. And in fact, the song that I put out last fall, The Mummy's on the Loose,
I was going to bring that one up,
was an old Jazz in Hell song. So I wrote that one, I believe, in 1985 or 1986.
Oh, wow.
We never recorded it until recorded it last summer and put it out in time for Halloween. And that one's really, the original was Casio, and the new one is super punk. And I recorded it with my friends, Rough Francis. They're a local punk band here.
Isn't Jello Biafra on that?
And Jello Biafra's on it. No, nice. Rough Francis is a special band because they're the sons of the band called Death. which is
the Tampa death metal band.
Not Tampa.
Okay. There was a death metal band called Death.
Oh no, but this is this is a punk band that predates predates Iggy Pop. Black punk band.
Oh, they're from Detroit.
Yeah, from Detroit.
I know who you're talking. I was running through my head. I have a friend, Rob St. Mary, who is written.
Anyhow, Rough Francis is their kids.
Gotcha.
And I recorded the song with them, and then we got Jello Biafra to do guest vocals on it.
He does like the talking part.
Yeah.
I would say the Vincent Price part in the Michael
basically. We basically told him, try and do it like Vincent Price. And he did.
I had to explain to my kids in the car because I played that song for them. I had to explain who Jello Biafra was.
Yeah, and it's almost Halloween again. So I hope people play it a lot. We got really good airplay with that song last fall.
So I have a question for you about getting music played, because I know where you're from in Vermont, because I read Wikipedia, so I figured it out. And did you ever get any play on WEQX with that song?
I don't know what WEQX is.
Okay, they're one of the radio stations out there, and they play a lot of alternative music. So I was wondering if maybe it got picked up they're one of my favorite stations out of Vermont. So,
oh well, maybe.
And I'm here in mid-Michigan, so thanks, Internet, for introducing me to that.
I know WRUV, which is the University of Vermont's student radio station. Definitely got played on there. I think we had a number one on. I think some station called like The Buzz or something. It was like I'm not sure they exist. There were two like competing alternative rock, like commercial alternative rock stations in Burlington. One of them still exists, and I think the other one went under. I can never remember which one's which. Even though it had like this showdown between these two stations happened decades ago. It happened in the 90s. But maybe I think like one of them picked like Hockey Monkey as the song they were going to champion, and the other station picked Monkey versus Robot as the song that they were going to champion. And anyhow, it worked out really well for me.
Yeah, really. Right away.
I'm sorry. WEQX is in Manchester, not Burlington. That's my fault.
Manchester, New Hampshire?
Manchester, Vermont, they say.
Oh, Manchester, Vermont.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's still Vermont, but yeah. But I wouldn't probably hear that on my local dial here in Burlington.
Yeah. So I was in Burlington, and not from Vermont. I'm like, oh, they're all too close to each other, right? Just like everybody thinks in Michigan, we're all right by Detroit.
Right by Detroit. You're just north of Detroit.
So, it's interesting to me how well that album Monkey versus Robot is doing. In fact, still doing. Yeah, it does better every month than it did previously. So I put it out, it got a lot of play on radio, and two songs actually ended up as music videos on Nickelodeon's Kablam. Nice. Pizza Rocket and Hockey Monkey were both on that animated shorts show. And then it stopped, and I think I like sold them all. I didn't print more. It is on, streaming now though. Mm-hmm. And since it went up on streaming, I don't know, like a decade ago, it's been a slow and steady climb. Every month, more plays than the month before.
Wow.
And I haven't done anything to promote it at all. It's just doing better and better and better all on its own, to the point where it's a little frustrating because I'll put out a brand new album and Monkey versus Robot will outperform it by like many times in the month that the new thing comes out.
So interesting.
Yeah.
We were just talking about your latest album the other day, James and Gravy.
Oh yeah.
Or at least we were talking about one of the songs on James and Gravy, and because Matt was talking about The Chord I Like.
Yeah,
and
I love that song.
I'd heard that one too. I was like, oh, I've actually heard that one also. Besides Monkey versus Robot album stuff, I've heard The Chord I Like, but I can't remember. I'm sure it was on a streaming service, but I can't remember where.
Yes, well, it is up on those streaming services for sure.
It's a great song.
It's thank you so much. That's one I wrote on the piano, although I don't play piano on the recorded version. For that album, James and that song is sort of like the odd man out on that album. It's much more like my older songs. Mm-hmm. And I still write silly and goofy songs, but during the pandemic, or just before the pandemic, my wife gave me a phone. I hadn't had a cell phone before.
Oh, wow.
And she gave me a cell phone, and then I found that it was really easy now to record little, like when I write a song, I'm like walking down the street singing a song, and usually I forget it within minutes after writing it. And only the ones that happen to, by chance stick with me. So if would I remember the old way, if I wrote a song while I was out and about and I thought this is a really good one, I got to remember it, I would have to sing it to myself like 100 times that day, and then sing it to myself.
Like running home to get to a piece of paper,
and then sing it. No, I wouldn't write them down. I just sing it to myself and try and remember it, and then I'd do that several days in a row, several weeks in a row, and then that one's remembered.
That's
I can
an
write
interesting way to write a song.
But now that I've got the cell phone, I can just whip it out and record a voice memo of the song. So I can write many, many more songs. And I, oh my God, between the start of the pandemic and now, I think I've written like 2,000 songs or something. I write like 1 to 5 songs a day, and I text them all to my friend Neil Cleary. And Neil he like catalogs them all, and by, I don't know what metric he uses, like what kind of song he thinks it is, whether he likes it or not, and stuff like that. And he noticed in doing all this cataloging that I had written a bunch of songs that he thought would be good, like folky sort of singer-songwriter songs, and probably all songs that I would never have touched or done anything with. But he was like, I would like to record these songs with you. And I was like, sure, let's do it. So that's why that album, James and Gravy, is so different than the others. Because it was curated by Neil, who played all the instruments and acted as producer on the record. We recorded that with Benny Yurko at his studio. Benny Yurko was a member of both Grace Potter's bands, of the founding.
Oh, wow.
Grace Potter and the Nocturnals, and then later when it was just Grace Potter, he was with them too.
Oh, interesting. So how has your, I guess, editing or refining process changed now that you can so instantly record every song as it comes to your mind, whereas before you were reciting it and probably, I would imagine, naturally adjusting as you said it over and over in your head? Like, has that changed, or is it pretty much?
It hasn't exactly, because I still adjust them. Like if I go for a walk and I'll start singing one of my songs and I won't be able to remember what the lyrics were before. So I'll write a whole new set of lyrics.
There you go.
And maybe I'll write a new bridge. So now I've got some songs. If I go back and like look at all the different variations I've written, I might like have 4 bridges. And I obviously don't need 4 bridges, right? Like that's too many. So, but now I can like pick and choose. Like I like the lyrics from this version and I like the bridge from that version. Yeah. But I've got it all on the phone, and I, can sort through and find them. Although cool. I found with with James and Gravy, I forgot to check any of that when we recorded it, and then I went back and listened to it, and there were parts that I wrote for songs we never used at all because I never went back to look at them, or some really cool lyrics that I didn't use at all. Not that they are necessarily better than the lyrics I did use, but they're just other lyrics that were cool too. So I released a demo version of James and Gravy.
There you go.
And I put that just up on my Patreon right now. I haven't put it anywhere else.
Okay.
It won't really work very well for me for a streaming service like on Spotify. I won't make any money because, I mean, not that I super do anyway, but most of the songs are like under the 35-second mark, like, because they're all just snippets of things and you don't get any royalty at all for anything that's short.
Oh,
like,
really?
They don't consider it a play of a song unless it's over 35 seconds.
That's good to know, Matt, because now we can tell people that's why our episodes are generally over an hour long, because we had to get past 35 seconds. It was either 36
just shy
seconds
of 35.
or
Yeah, exactly. So I have a question. So I was doing a little research and I saw the Cute Manifesto and the concept of craft is the enemy. Do you feel like you can expand on that a little bit? Is that something that you still believe, or what does that mean to you?
Well, I'll just have to think back to how I felt then.
Yeah, I know it was a while ago.
But for me, the general concept was that the thing that I found really magic in not just in music and in people's comics and stuff that really set me on fire with love for those mediums. I found the better people, like the more chops the people had, like the better they got at making the music and drawing, the less of the part that I really liked was there. So there's something about getting too good at it that that hurts it in some way.
The talent gets in your way, like you're
and I don't really know exactly how or why that happens. No, like if you're building a chair, probably the craftsmanship is more important than your artistic vision of the chair. You know, like number one, you got to be able to sit on it.
Sure.
And I guess, I can understand, like in comics, number one, you've got to be able to read it, right? Like if it's an unreadable mess, then obviously you need a little more craft there.
Sure. Yeah.
But I mean, some of my favorite music is like, is almost, from a commercial standpoint, unlistenable, like unplayable on the radio. Yeah. Like, a lot of hiss and people singing off key and, I really do enjoy amateur music.
I kind of understand where you're going with that, because just to make a corollary here, when Matt and I started doing this, because Matt and I both used to worked in college radio together, of course. And then we went on to work in professional radio, and professional radio was way more important. Did you keep the clock? How did your break sound, but did you get all the things you're supposed to get in the break?
Right.
And did it sound professional when you did it? It was essentially a factory of radio, and you just had to do these things over and over again. The art didn't matter anymore. The content was almost secondary, because you just had to get to the next commercial break or weather or whatever that thing you're selling is. And so all the art of radio that we fell in love doing radio for kind of went away in our profession, and it became very boring. So when we started this, we're just going to do this however we want, and there's no PD to tell us we're doing it wrong. We're just going to do it.
Yeah. Well, I tell the story all the time about how I used to have to sit with my program director, and he would tell me words I use too much and say, stop saying them. So he would say, well, listen to this. And we would listen to my show after I recorded it. And he'd say, you said song 3 times this hour. Stop using the word song. Like, but they're songs.
But they're songs.
What do I do? And it made me like, I was so like inside my head. I wasn't enjoying it anymore. I was like, okay, I have to do this thing and it has to be like this and like this. And so it wasn't as fun. And I could see how that would be, it might take some of the fun out of either art or music, because you feel like you have to, you know, do this thing that either people like or that you learned that's very impressive or whatever it might be. You have to like wow people, or you have to one up, and then you lose what was fun and what you were passionate about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I try to keep it fun. Also, I really can't play any instrument. So, I usually work with really good musicians though.
Yeah.
Sometimes I try and muddle through and do my own thing. Last summer I put out an album called Bike Flipper. And most of the songs on that, I just sang sang the drum part and sang the bass line and all that kind of thing. Yeah.
Interesting.
Which is something I had wanted to do. I had wanted to do since my first month of college in 1985. So I had a band in high school, and then I went off to college and didn't have a band. And I was like, wow, I'd really like to keep making music. And I made some music. I made a couple songs, but we had like a party, and somebody, I had this, one of my favorite records of all time is, it's the Peace War punk compilation. It's a double album. So one record is peace and one record is war.
Oh, that's cool. I got to check that out.
It's got dozens and dozens of punk bands on it. Anyhow, this friend of mine put out a cigarette on the record. Aww. So mad.
What?
But it made it skip with this one like guitar riff just over and over again with a loud thunk in between. And so I just recorded that and sang on top of it and did like my own like punk song using this broken record. So I was starting to play with little things like that, and I really wanted to go into the studio with no plan and just start recording like mouth sounds and make a whole album like that. Wow. And then I didn't do it ever until last summer. And the main reason why I didn't do it back then is because studio time is expensive.
Oh yeah.
Right. And now you can do quite a bit at home. I mean, like Grimes has had, huge hits with things she recorded in her bedroom. She could probably afford a good studio now, but
yeah. Someone tells me she knows people that could probably.
But when she was starting out, she was just recording it at home.
Yeah,
there's so many. Like if you go through like the SoundCloud rapper phase, a lot of those guys and girls, they just went and recorded. They were like, forget all of the way you're supposed to do it, all of the traditional roads to get people to listen to your stuff. Here's SoundCloud. I can make beats on my phone. Right. And away I go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some of them are like gazillionaires now. They're selling out arenas. I would tend to bet none of the three of us are selling out arenas, but James could probably sell out a bigger arena than we did.
Much bigger, yeah.
Yes.
So you did was Disco Nose on that album?
Yes.
Okay, because I know that one, and I when I heard that, I was like, well, this sounds just basic. It's like a cappella, like it's that's all you, and it's multi-layered. It's a cool song.
Thanks.
I actually saw the video for it online. Who's in that video with you?
My two sons, Oliver and Eli, and my friends, kids, Max and Clyde.
It's so funny.
Yeah, we go on family vacations together.
Mm-hmm.
Like quite a few, like anywhere from like 2 to 4 vacations a year with
That's
this other
great.
family when we've done it for like the last 12 years.
Nice.
And I thought we would have stopped by now. We haven't stopped yet. Like like my oldest kid and the other family's oldest kid are both 20 now.
Yeah, my oldest is 22. So you say you go camping. I have to ask, are you a tent camper or a camper?
Tent camper.
Camp. Oh, so you're a traditionalist. Way to go. Good job.
Yeah, we still do it pretty glam. Like we cook really good food and stuff.
Yeah, I retired my camping years ago, but I'm being slowly called out of retirement by my person of interest, as we call her, Matt and I call her. So yeah, I may be rejoining the camping. I may be rejoining the camping ranks here in the not too distant future.
I've written some great songs while camping. That's what album is it on? I think it's on How to Tie a Tie on the Internet. There's that song that goes.
Did you write "I'm So Woke" while you were camping? Because that was one of your big camping songs. Because I listened to that album today because I love the title "How to Tie a Tie on the Internet" because I had to relearn how to tie a tie by looking at the internet a while ago, and I just had to laugh at the song "I'm So Woke."
Well, it's funny. I think I recorded that song a little before it really the phrase "woke" really broke into public consciousness. So, like if you're like someone who's like really into on either side, right, of like you'd be like, what is this guy even singing about? It sounds like I'm singing about something else.
Because I got a kick out of that song on that album, and my son and I were laughing at I Read the Hobbit just because it's because the way you drop motherfucker in it is just hilarious.
I Read the Hobbit is a really good song. So basically, I'm kind of just making fun of what's that band? Led Zeppelin.
Oh,
because
yeah, they did write music about the
like
Hobbit.
That's true.
That's
They're great band, but almost every song on that album's about the Hobbit.
That's true.
And it's like I just imagine the guy like being like, "Oh, I read this book. I got to tell you about it."
It would be like somebody now doing a rock album about like Harry Potter or something.
Yeah. So I Read the Hobbit goes like, I read a book. It blew my mind. It's called The Hobbit. You gotta read it, baby. That book. It blew my mind.
Yeah, it's so funny. I love it because I'm in my head. I'm thinking, all right, he wrote this about something specific. Somebody, it's like somebody he at a bookstore is like trying to tell him about the Hobbit. Like, I get it.
Yeah, it's about Led Zeppelin.
I've heard of the Hobbit, so has a billion other people. But,
so, on your website, you have a
really cool... I gotta say too, the music on that song, I used the early AI to arrange the whole thing. Yeah,
no way.
Every instrument is virtual. It's all I just programmed in the chord changes, and the AI did all the playing.
That's a little bit scary, but also really cool.
But it's a really early. It was like really really early version. There's like barely any AI to it. It was like really like a loop. Like they're probably all pre-recorded loops that the app would string together, right? It was supposed to be able to just hear you sing a melody and then arrange music around it in any style you wanted. But I found it just didn't work at all. Like it wouldn't be able to hear the melody that I sang. So I would let it do it. And then I would have to go through and edit everything. Like I'd have to change every chord that it had picked would be wrong.
Oh, wow.
So I'd redo it. And then you could mix and match. Like you'd be like, I want like rock guitars, but you want, I don't know, some other style bass and some other style. Like you could mix and match the individual instrument parts if you wanted.
Okay.
And then I would dump it all as individual tracks and rebuild it in the studio.
So
but it was this app that doesn't exist anymore. It's called UJam. The letter U, JAM. And the company still exists, and they make like plugins, I think, for like
plugins are big money now for guitars and drums and
they make plugins for what's the whatever DAW you use, whatever recording app, they make plugins for it.
Like Pro Tools and stuff like that.
Yeah. Or what's the Apple one? I just started using it. Logic.
Oh, Logic. Okay.
Yeah.
So hearing what you said about I Read the Hobbit now makes Miniature Stairway to Heaven make much more sense.
Oh, yeah. Now, Miniature Stairway to Heaven, that was a song that took me, about like 20 or 30 years to write. Because I had the first part, I'm building I'm building a miniature stairway to a tiny little heaven.
Yep.
So that line is on Monkey vs. Robot album. I had sang it live at a show in Hultsfred, Sweden, and we recorded it, and I just put that snippet like on the album, but I didn't have the rest of the song. And then one day, like 25 years later, I wrote the rest of the song.
Wow. Did you always know you were trying to make a full song out of it? Or
Yeah. I tried for years and couldn't come up with anything else to go with it. And then one day I did.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Some songs just come out fully formed.
Yeah.
An example of that is Hockey Monkey. Also Monkey versus Robot. I just opened my mouth and the whole thing came out. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to do any rewriting. It was just done. Easy peasy. And then some songs like that take 25 years.
Monkey versus Robot, I will still find myself driving around going, Monkey, Monkey, ROBOT,
Yep.
robot.
Same.
I'll be by myself in the car at the stoplight, just nothing on, and just it'll pop into my head. Don't know why, just from time to time.
Yeah,
and I'll just be singing it.
It pumps you up. Versus Robot.
I told my kids that's the breakdown part, that if it was a hardcore song, that's where the wall of death happens and everybody runs at each other.
I'm Team Monkey, by the way.
I started to talk to you about a song on one of my records, and I couldn't remember the name of it. I'm just going to look it up on Bandcamp.
Okay. That's the beauty of the internet. It's just like, just give me a second.
If only there was a way we could find it.
It's like, I can't remember things. The internet remembers it for me.
Like there was.
Life is very bad.
That's on How to Tie a Tie.
Yeah, that's on How to Tie a Tie on the internet. So, I'm just going to listen to it a little.
Well, because I was listening to that song.
Yeah. I'm a little octopus. My name is Charlie Joe. I live beneath the ocean waves. I've never seen the snow. Anyhow, it's kind of my version of "You Can't Always Get What You Want" by the Rolling Stones.
Oh wow!
By the Rolling Stones, because my friends, we were camping. My friend's son woke up. It was like 7:00 in the morning. He wanted candy, and I'm like, have you ever had candy first thing when you wake up at 7:00 in the morning? He's like, no. I'm like, well, what makes you think you can today?
Right.
So
vacation.
Yeah. Well, and then of course I think we did give him candy. But first I teased him a little bit by writing a song about him.
So I listened to that song and knowing now I don't know a bunch of I know that you write, and I know that you write comics, and I know that you've done some Nickelodeon stuff and things like that. But when I was listening to that song today, I was like, this sounds like it would be a great premise to like not maybe an early teens or, an 8, 9, 10-year-old kid cartoon, like all of the different characters in there. I was like, this could it could be like a Teen Titans Go type cartoon with these different characters not getting things that they wanted.
Here's another song I wrote while camping. So we were like hiking a mountain or something while we were camping or something like that. And we were talking about, me and my kids were talking about the song Manamana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The old Sesame Street song, and about how, maybe a greatest song ever written. And I was like, it's so simple. It'd be really hard to write another song that good. Right. But I was trying to write one that was kind of a sound alike, but not really the same. Not really, I didn't want to just steal the melody or anything like that, but just somehow the same vibe. And I came up with this song that goes, who's nice and yellow? Banana Fox, who's on TV? Banana Fox, who's nice and yellow? That fellow is me. Which is kind of just like, mana, dun, da, 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 like turned inside out.
Yeah.
It's not really the same, but
right.
Got a similar vibe. Anyhow, then I wrote 3 graphic novels based on that character, Banana Fox. So we never released the song like on an album or anything, but I once I had that character in my head, I had to draw him, and I did 3 Banana Fox graphic novels for Scholastic. And then we did record that song as for like the book trailer. Like when the first book came out, sometimes you make like a internet trailer for a book.
So sizzle reel.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and they even animated it and stuff, simple
cool.
animation, but it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Very cool. So, speaking of animation, on the James Kochalka Superstar website, you have a really fun animation of you doing Baccarat Galactica. Who did that? That art.
Well, I did the art.
You drew, and then who put it all together? Like you're flying in a spaceship, and it's really cool.
So I don't know what the name of it. I don't know what the name of his video company is.
Yeah,
but he has a video production company in San Francisco, which I would love to plug for him if I could remember what it's called. But his name at the time was Pistol Stamen, but his real name is Paul Jaffe.
Nice.
I think he's one of my best friends, but like time goes by, and I always call him Pistol Stamen. So like I'm pretty sure his real name is Paul Jaffe.
That totally sounds like a punk guitarist name.
Well, he got the name because he scored like an amazing goal in hockey in a high school game, but it was his rock name. And he was in a local band here in Burlington, Vermont called the Pants, and he was in James Kochalka Superstar as well. Nice. Pants were the most popular band in town by far when they were active. My band was basically the Pants, just kind of inside out. Like that, in the middle of their show, sometimes they'd all switch instruments and call me up on stage, and then it would be James Kochalka Superstar.
Huh.
At first, James Kochalka Superstar was basically the Philistines Jr. And when we played in Marquette, we went up with the Philistines Jr.
Yeah.
And it was all members of that band were my band. But they all live in Connecticut, and I really wanted a local band. And then my band sort of became the Pants, or the Pants, members of the Pants played in my band. And then the Pants broke up or whatever. I had to come up with some other solution, and I put together a different group of local musicians, which included Colin Clary, who's in a band called the Smittens, and Eugene Hutz, who's in Gogol Bordello now.
Oh, cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so that was the lineup for a couple months or something. And then eventually I put together the one that I've had for the last couple decades, until I played my final show ever about 6 years ago on my 50th birthday. I played my official last show ever. But I did just play a show this spring when James and Gravy came out. But I didn't bring back the rock band. I did it, the acoustic style.
So why
I don't
was
really know
that
what
your last show ever?
Why? Oh, Well, there's two reasons. One, I was my ears were ringing a lot, and I didn't want to keep putting all that wear and tear on my ears. I wanted
Sure.
to keep making music, but I didn't want to ruin my ears by playing live.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was, I had gotten honestly, I got a little demoralized by signing to Rykodisc, and then it all fell apart. So Rykodisc put out my greatest hits collection called Our Most Beloved, and then they put out a really great album that isn't on any streaming now, because since Ryko fell apart, and they don't have the rights to it anymore either, and Ryko doesn't even exist, so it's not anywhere. Is Spread Your Evil Wings and Fly, which is a really great record. That record actually got a fair amount of commercial airplay, like on some big commercial stations in LA and stuff. Didn't quite become a hit or anything, but like my other records only got played on like college stations and independent stations. So it's interesting to start getting some commercial airplay. But then, okay, this is where everything went wrong. Was that the day? So first we put out the greatest hits. Everything's going great. Mm-hmm. Then the day they put out the new album, Warner Brothers bought Rykodiscs. They were no longer a independent record label anymore, and the guy who signed me, Jeff Rugby, quit that day. And then I think I was like, fuck it, I'm out too. And I don't know if that was the best move.
If you're leaving, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
That's the punk rock thing to do.
That is the punk rock thing.
You don't think it through. True. You're just like, he's out, I'm out. Screw you guys. I'm going home.
And then I really didn't know what to do after that. I've never fully recovered from that. So now I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm putting out albums, trying to put them out at a faster rate. And I've got a series of big collaborations in the pipeline. So I told you about my friend Neil Cleary, who I text all my songs to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One of the things that he was doing is going through and picking out songs and then finding collaborators for me to collaborate with. And he figured that I'd been making music a long time and making pretty interesting music, that there were probably a bunch of famous bands that really liked my stuff if we could just figure out who they were.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
a good idea.
And then try and work with them. So the next one we have scheduled. So the first one that came out was The Mummies on the Loose, which I do with Ruff Francis and Jello Biafra. Mm-hmm. And then that one wasn't such a big stretch because Ruff Francis is of course friends of mine because they're from my
mm-hmm.
town.
Yeah.
And when I already knew Jello Biafra also. Ruff Francis is friends with Jello Biafra, and I've had dinner with Jello Biafra a couple times when he's come through town. We have another friend in common. So it seemed like an easy ask. But the next one, I'm so excited for. It sounds so great. It's called All Our Favorite Bands Are Breaking Up. And it's I do a duet with Greta from Frankie Cosmos. And it's going to be really great. And then also we got Francis McDonald from Teenage Fan Club plays most of the instruments on it. And I think he recorded it at the studio of one of the Bell and Sebastian guys.
Oh, wow.
I think he might, I don't know if he did anything on it. He's going uncredited, but I'm really excited about this new song. We're going to shoot the music video later at the end of August, and then hopefully get it out. I'm hoping this fall.
That's very cool.
And I have a bunch of others. I did a song with Moby.
wow.
No way, really?
Yeah, it's great. It's totally epic. I have another song that I recorded with Darling Side that's complete. We haven't released yet.
And this is all new music, or are you re-recording?
All new stuff. All new stuff.
Wow. And are you collaborating in the songwriting process with these people in
with
some cases?
some
or
yes and some
of them, yeah?
no.
That's really neat.
Darling Side definitely collaborated on the in the songwriting process.
Yeah.
There's this one song I did with, I'm actually spacing on the guy's name. I think he's like a Jamaican rapper or something, but he he just wrote his whole section.
So what would be like, are there any, I don't know, dream collaborations that you have in your head? Like if you could pick somebody or a series of artists that you either admire or that you listen to, like who would you, if you could pick any, I don't know, 2 or 3 people or bands?
Well, I mean, there were a couple that I asked that said no thanks. So I don't want to shame anybody.
Sure.
Because when I was listening to James and Gravy, and I totally picked up on the singer-songwriter, or what I was telling Matt before you joined the call. I says it's got a very, what was kind of popular in the mid 2010s, 2000s, whatever we're supposed to call those up till now, is called, they called it folk punk. It was these guys who used to be in punk bands, and then they just got an acoustic guitar and they sat down and they just wrote their songs and sang them. And I said, that album's got that feel to it to me. And there was one group that I saw, and I picked them up because they were opening for a different group that I liked, and they're called the Homeless Gospel Choir. But really, the Homeless Gospel Choir is either a band of people or it's one guy named Derek Zanetti. And so what his solo stuff, although a little bit different, that gave me the same vibe. So I listened to a lot of what they call the folk punk genre. And a lot of those guys have went like much bigger and got full backing bands now and do just wild tours and everything. But a lot of them started as just one person in a living room or somebody's, college dorm room, and they would just travel around and play that way.
Oh, I wrote a song I'm really excited about. You want me to just sing it to you?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay. You know what's bitchin'? Jonathan Richman playing guitar in a sweater. You know what's bitchin'? Abraham Lincoln bitchin' as president ever. You know what's bitchin'? Cooks in the kitchen making me mac and cheese. You know what's bitchin'? A bitchin' Camaro. Somebody hand me the keys. I cannot wait to record that song.
That's awesome.
I love that you worked Bitch and Camaro in there, because as I was listening to your stuff today, after the album How I Learned to Tie a Tie, the first song that played after that, it wasn't Bitch and Camaro, but it was Punk Rock Girl by the Dead Milkmen.
Great song.
Yeah, it's how I discovered who they were, and then I just went through all of their albums. I was like probably in 7th grade or 8th grade when that came out. And that's when I was really closet transitioning from the hair metal stuff, which I love. I'm not ashamed of it at all. But back then I was like, but I like all this other stuff, like the Dead Milkmen and the Slammin' Watusis and all of like who's this Henry Rollins guy and Rollins band and all of these different things. That's when I started to get into that, but I didn't want to tell anybody because I felt like I'm the only one who knew what it was.
I didn't really, I didn't like listen to the radio or anything as a kid. I listened to stuff that my older siblings had, like, we had the White Album by the Beatles. I listened to that a lot. Mm-hmm. We had The Harder They Come by Jimmy Cliff, nice. Soundtrack to his movie. Great record. I had the Muppet Show album.
Oh yeah.
Which I loved. So that was like, oh, and we had like Inagata Davida.
Yeah.
So that's like all I had. That was like my musical education was.
It covers a lot of bases, actually.
It does cover a lot, though. So then, I wasn't listening to any pop music. My kids at school would be like, have you heard? I don't know.
Well, have you heard Duran Duran? I mean, it is Duran Duran Appreciation Day.
Okay, so new wave music is when I started listening to music. So
Yeah.
I love all the pop new wave bands. I love Duran Duran.
I'm glad to hear you say that.
The first thing I bought was a 7-inch of Men Without Hats, Safety Dance.
Oh, there you go. Good
Love
one.
that. Then the next thing I bought was a full LP. I bought the Thompson Twins. I thought it was pretty good. But then the next thing I bought was Plastic Surgery Disasters by the Dead Kennedys. And then the next thing I bought after that was like Powerless Psychic Another Man's Sack by the Butthole Surfers. And I was completely out of my mind from then on. So it was like my pop music phase was like a few months of new wave, and then I was just completely off the deep end. I was like,
I was actually playing the Butthole Surfers in my office this week, and one of my coworkers said, "Oh, who's this?" And I said, "I don't think HR is going to let me tell you."
I love the whole first album I bought game, because mine was the first one I ever got was an album, it was a cassette, but it was Michael Jackson's Thriller. Second one I got was Culture Club's Color by Numbers.
Wow.
Those
I mean, those are both great albums, but I would never have guessed that.
Yeah, you've known me for a long time, Matt.
Yeah.
You would be like, so your first album was Iron Maiden Killers, right?
Yeah,
or AC/DC Dirty Deeds. That's your first album. Nope.
Like the first one I bought, I was probably pretty young, but it was either the Muppet Show soundtrack to the show or the Muppet movie soundtrack. I don't know which one I got first.
So both good.
So I had one of the Muppet albums, but I also had Sesame Street Hits, and it had Ernie singing "Going on a Tiger Hunt." And
I had Grover Sings. I forgot. I had Grover Sings the Blues too.
I had Bob Sings. I had Bob Sings on vinyl.
Seriously?
Anyhow, so like the albums that I bought as a kid, right? Like that seems a little different than the albums that I then bought as a teen, right? Like so the first like album that I bought as a teen was the Thompson Twins. And I was a little I liked the Thompson Twins, and I did like the album a lot, but I was a little disappointed because like nothing on the album is as good as the single, right? Like the single was really good.
Yeah.
But then for my number 2 record, Plastic Surgery Disasters, which I've got for like $5, I was like, well, this album's only $5. I gotta buy it.
Yeah.
It's like all the other albums were like 10 or 15 or whatever they were back then. I was like, $5, sure. And I brought it home and I was like, whoa, like, wow. So it was just so great to be able to record a song with Jello Biafra, decades later.
That is really cool. Yeah. You don't get those moments listening to music as often. Like, can either of you think of the last time you heard something newer that made you just say, whoa, like this changes everything? I can't.
No, definitely. I think 1,000 Gex.
1,000 Gex?
Yeah, that did it for me. I was like, I've never heard anything like this before.
Matt, you look confused. You know who
I
1,000
am
Gex
confused.
is?
What is it?
All right. You need to get some teenagers in your house, and then you'll know this stuff.
It's hyperpop.
It is.
Hyperpop.
Yeah. Right. I think they might be the first hyperpop band. I don't know. There were things similar-ish before them, but they, I think, really established the rules of the genre.
So would you say that album is bussin'?
I don't know what bussin' means.
Neither does he. He's just saying it so we can get some kids to listen to this podcast. Yeah. He's just going to start saying things like "no cap" for real.
Okay,
for real.
so I somehow ended up on the 1,000 Gex, and then they became 10,000 Gex. I don't know. Maybe there'll be 1,000,000 Gex next.
All right,
but I don't know. They came and played in here in Burlington. Somehow I ended up on the guest list. I just assumed, because I like them, that the rest of the crowd would also be 55-year-old men, And
you were wrong.
I was very wrong. It was the audience is like,
you didn't have enough.
Oh my God, no, like most of the kids were in middle school, like
wow.
Like 7th, 8th grade, and then some young high school kids too. But it was really young crowd. Yeah.
Did you remember to bring your vape pen with you? That's what all the kids are doing at concerts these
No,
days.
I did not vape. But it was also like the first concert that we were allowed to see after everything locked down for COVID.
Gotcha.
So I kind of just stayed in the back and I didn't and let the kids do their thing. It wasn't like,
That's pretty much me at every show now. As I show up, and either they're like, "Oh, somebody's rides here," or "There's the cop." That's when they see me walk into a show. Because I like a lot of
the one person looking for a chair.
Yeah, I like a lot of the new stuff, or a lot of newer stuff that's out there that guys who are pushing 50 probably aren't going to on a regular. There might be one other guy, and he's like, "Yeah, my kids are here too," and I'm like, "Yeah, mine aren't." So let's not. But I can't think of the last thing that I heard that really made me go, "Oh, the game has changed." It was probably in the hip hop world a lot with a lot of the SoundCloud rappers that came out. And this is probably a few years back. And I was like, "Oh, this is different.
Yeah,
this is really different."
Here's two other bands that I'm really into right now. The Cool Greenhouse and Power Plant. And
writing them down.
Cool Greenhouse sounds a little bit like what's that band that does like Detachable Penis?
King Missile.
King Missile. Yeah. They sound a little like King Missile. Like the guy like sort of sing-song talks.
Like did anybody ever tell you kind of sound like the lead singer from King Missile?
You think
me?
So?
Yeah, you.
I think
maybe
sometimes.
I think you could do a wicked cover of Detachable Penis.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so here's the interesting thing that happened. I started putting songs up on Instagram and TikTok. I put a song up on Instagram that I just recorded like while walking down the street. Like shooting a selfie of myself and singing it. And like made a little video and put it up. Yeah. And 2 hours later, someone had done a remix of it.
What?
And it was really good. So I contacted that guy and I was like, "Do you want to I can write some more lyrics. We can turn this into a real song." He's like, "Sure." And I'm like, "Oh, I just got to tell you, I really can't pay you. I could do you a drawing or something." He's like, "Whatever, it's fine." And then we did it and it came out good. And he's like, "You want to do another one?" I was like, "Okay." And then he was like, "I can do a whole bunch if you want." And I was like, "Sure." And we ended up doing like 7 or 8 songs together.
That is amazing.
So that I got a new album coming out, which is that.
Wow.
And then, after we've been working together for like a week or two, he was like, "We've worked together before." And I was like, "We have?" He's like, "Yeah, 20 years ago, you sang on a rock opera I wrote." He did a rock opera based on 2001: A Space Odyssey. And the guy from King Missile's on that. That's why I told that story.
Really? Everything is connected.
Yeah, he played. So what's the King Missile guy's name?
I couldn't tell you. I don't remember.
Is it John S. Hall?
Let me go to this computer and I'll find out for you.
For real.
Anyhow, the King Missile guy played Hal, the computer.
Okay.
And did an awesome job. In fact, now I'm disappointed that it's not his voice in the movie because his voice is so perfect as the computer.
Yeah.
Yeah. John S. Hall.
Yeah. You can still find this just like I think you just Google like 2001: A Space Odyssey, the rock opera or something like that. It's pretty good. Anyhow, so I feel like I did that guy a favor for no particular reason 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And now he's done me a favor for no particular reason. So it all works out.
Circle of life.
Yeah.
That's
so that album is going to be called, pretty sure it's going to be called Pop Popular.
Pop Popular.
Because it's all dance pop songs.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know if the world needs an album of dance pop songs from James Kochalka, but the world is getting one.
Hey, you know what? We've got to get more Ariana Grande albums. I think we can squeeze yours in there.
Yeah. So in my process of writing all these songs, I started to realize I'm just writing like all kinds of songs, and I've been listening to a lot of pop music, so I've been trying to, write pop songs too, or sometimes just do it by accident. Um, uh, uh, I don't know what the moral of the story is. Except that sometimes I get a little discouraged and like, what is the point of writing pop songs that are never going to be popular? I'm like, sometimes I write a song and I'll be like, if Taylor Swift did this song, it would be a huge hit, or Beyonce, but they're never going to record them. So I had to record them.
Yeah, the internet is a funny place. You never know who's going to pick up something you did on that with that TikTok thing. You have no idea.
No, that's true.
A rep from, Taylor Swift could pick it up, and next thing you know, you're talking to us from your solid gold palace because of because I was thinking when I was listening to James and Gravy, the song "I Want to Love You," I was like, that's totally a pop song.
Yeah,
totally a pop song.
Yeah.
So what's the process like so what do you do when it comes out to try to get it to as many ears as possible? Like, do you still traditionally like call PDs and like do that process? I know that.
So you used to, send CDs to radio stations and then follow it up with phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, if you don't put it out on CD, like I'm just doing digital releases, there's nothing to send.
Right.
So every station has got like a different protocol. Some have got like, portals where you can upload a single song, but you don't know if anyone's ever listens to it or what happens to it.
Right.
We put together like a download page that has like the album artwork, like one paragraph about who I am and what this album's about. And then like a thing they can click to download a thing they can preview all the songs. They can just listen to them.
Yeah.
And then thing they can click to download it. So I wrote all these radio stations. I wrote it like every station that I could find the info for that had ever played my stuff in the past. But those, those DJs are all grown up now. They're not at those stations anymore. Right. Yeah. And then, or if, there's some stations I've been able to see because they tweet what they have played. And I know there are DJs on these stations who have been playing my stuff, like my old stuff.
Yeah.
The old stuff still keeps getting played.
Right.
And so I write to these stations like, I don't know which DJ is playing this, but you've got a DJ playing my stuff. Maybe they'd like this. And it never reaches nobody's. I did dozens and dozens and dozens of these emails, and I don't think any of them ended up playing anything.
Yeah.
So it's I'm just going to keep plugging away and keep trying. I think the thing that really does get noticed is when I do one of these collaborations.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so that song that I did with Rough Francis and Jello Biafra did way better than any song that I just released. That's just me. Right. And hopefully if I do enough of these, some of that people will start to notice that I'm doing something interesting and listen to my other music too.
Yeah, I think that's that's one of the things that I love about music discovery in general is that there's some nugget of a song that grabs you, whether it's I was a fan of this one person, so now I'm going to listen to this other person's music because they work together and I like the song, and then you dive down this rabbit hole and then you found maybe 6 different artists that are music that you like and you just weren't exposed to them before. So like, I think that's, we talk about this all the time. College radio was just such a great way to discover music as opposed to commercial radio, which is they just want to give you the things that you want and they don't want you to really stretch that much beyond what you're already expecting.
Yeah. Independent radio is so important. I mean, there's still great stations out there playing good stuff. Less people probably listen to radio than they used to. People
True.
listen to Spotify. Spotify does a pretty good job of turning me on to new music I never heard before.
They have their algorithm. I was impressed by.
It's actually getting better. At first, it wasn't very good. They used to always recommend I'd listen to some obscure thing, and they would recommend a more popular version of the obscure thing I listen to.
Yeah.
But I found lately, as I listen to more and more and more obscure stuff, that it keeps trying to find me something like even less people listen to.
Yeah.
That's good. So like it recommends me a lot of things that are getting like under 1,000 plays. So I think that's really cool. Like it'll recommend things to me like people who have like 60 followers or like, or 60 listeners a month or things like that. Like, so I think if it knows that I like weird stuff and actually will recommend weird stuff to me, that's kind of amazing.
Yeah. The robots are getting smarter.
Yeah. But still, that's maybe not necessarily, it's still hard to like, you still kind of, unless you just luck out with something that goes viral somehow, you kind of need a curator, right? Like,
yeah.
So the DJ was the thing on independent radio stations that really helped you find cool music. Like the DJ sorted through everything and then would play all their cool finds, and you'd be like, wow, that's so great. I never would have found that on my own. Yeah. Right. So, I think the thing now is the playlists that people make.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know that The Mummies on the Loose ended up on a couple Halloween playlists. I'm hoping to do even better this Halloween.
Yeah.
If I could like build on that each year, make a perennial hit out of that song, that'd be fantastic.
And those are the songs too. Like sometimes if it's like like a holiday theme or whatever that is a radio station will grab because they'll be like, well, I'm looking for Halloween music. I got to find everything I can find. And then they'll latch onto that one. And then they'll say, hey, this guy's cool. Let's see what else.
Yeah. That we got played on BBC 6, which is the really cool BBC radio station with that song. Cause they do a Halloween show. Mm-hmm. And, I think we sort of like cold sent it to them and DJ picked it up and played it.
Oh, that's cool.
I think millions of people probably heard that.
So what would be, if you had to give our tens of listeners the best way to access all of your music would you say Spotify or would you say Bandcamp or what?
Well, okay.
It's hard.
It's a little hard because I haven't put everything on Bandcamp and I haven't put everything on Spotify either.
Gotcha.
I think there's more on Bandcamp than on Spotify.
Okay.
But okay, obviously if you're going to buy music, buying it on Bandcamp is fantastic because the artist gets most of the money, right?
There you
go. And if you're just going to stream, it's probably better to just stream it on Spotify because if you stream it on Bandcamp, I get nothing. Right? Like I at least get a little something if you stream it on Spotify. Okay. But if you just listen to it on Bandcamp, the artist gets nothing. But if you buy it on Bandcamp, the artist gets almost all of it. So, like this is a silly thing to worry about. I don't really care that much. I just want people to listen to it. Right.
I think that's important to know, like for all artists.
For people who are consuming and buying, it's important to know, like, oh, if I go to Bandcamp and buy, like there's a band that I discovered and I get tons of stuff from their Bandcamp. They're called Oceanator. And they really pushed buying the Bandcamp, and I think it's called like Bandcamp Monday or something like that.
Well, yeah, a few Fridays a year they do Bandcamp Friday.
Bandcamp Friday,
and what Bandcamp does on those days is they waive their fee completely.
Yeah, so you get everything.
Artist gets it all. Well,
that's cool.
PayPal still takes a little cut.
Of course, they got to get their beaks wet.
PayPal doesn't waive their fee, but you get most of it. Yeah.
But so now that makes sense when you say that, like why on those they push Bandcamp for like the merch and all of their vinyl releases and things like that. but they don't really say listen to us. There's buy us on. So
Yeah.
that makes more sense now that you say that.
Yeah.
So if
Although
you're curious, go to Spotify.
So some you can limit how many times someone can stream something. So you can set up your Bandcamp page so like someone could listen once or twice or 3 times and then get cut off unless they buy it. The default might be like 3 times. I don't actually know what mine is set for. So if you get cut off listening to it, it's probably a good indication that you should buy it.
Yeah,
because you like
listen
it.
to it enough. That's a good point. Yeah,
You liked it enough. You should probably pick it up.
And recording is expensive. And in the early days, people bought everything, right? Like it was easy to pay back the recording by selling CDs. At least it was for me. Like I put like 10 grand. We put like 10 grand, I think, into recording Monkey versus Robot, maybe, and the promo and all that stuff, and making the CDs, and made it all back.
Yeah.
So that's great. But now you could spend $100 recording something and struggle to make it back.
Oh wow!
Like people just listen for free. I put I recorded Bike Flipper for nothing. Spent a couple thousand or 2,000 or 3,000 recording James and Gravy. I just wanted those songs to sound perfect, so decided to put the money into it. No hope at all, really, of making it back. But I mean, I'd love to make it back.
Well,
but,
sure. Yeah.
But for me, actually making the music is more important. I've talked to for not caring that much about making the money back. I've talked an awful lot about the money part in this interview. But it's not I mean, like, I also talked about like, how do I get people to listen to it? That's not even the most important part for me either. I'm really recording the things just so I can listen to them.
Yeah.
I listen to them all the time. My own albums all the time. Almost every day I listen to my own albums.
Really?
And other things too.
Yeah.
But I listen to my own music all the time because there's nothing out there that hits me just right. And my music does.
Yeah.
So if I want to get hit just right, I got to listen to my own music.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Well, you know, you're doing it to get it out of your head because you've got it in there, and then you're like, you know, I really like this because I know I have friends who still play in bands, and they're garage bands and their bar bands and things like that, and they say the same thing. I would love it if people would listen to this. I hope they listen to this. I have absolutely I don't think I'm ever going to make back the money I've spent on recording and gear and time, but I'm doing it because I have it and I need to get it out. And then they go and listen to their own stuff. And then I'm pushing 50 and we'll go to, get-togethers with our friends and my friends who are in band, all these married couples standing around, and we'll go off to the corner and be like, listen to this new song that we wrote. And we'll sit and listen to it and they kind of laugh at us, but the other people there listen to it too. Yeah. And so I get it. I don't really consider the music a separate thing though. Like I feel like it's all the creative process of my, I draw comics and write the songs, but it's all sort of the same thing. Like I wrote that song and it became, it's like a graphic novel. Mm-hmm. The
I write
intertwined
a graphic
novel
novel
of James.
I write a graphic novel and it becomes a song. That's happened too. So I feel like it's all part of the stew. If I took one out, like if I stopped recording music, then the other side would suffer. It's really all one thing. And as a whole, it's profitable. So I'm not going to worry that like streaming doesn't make enough dollars,
right?
Because it's all part of the same creative thing.
And it's, I mean, I
like
think
like research. It's like it's all part of research and development. Mm-hmm. And to to try and like to give up any part of that creativity, it would all suffer. Like I wouldn't be able to write the graphic novels if I wasn't writing the songs. So I gotta keep plugging away just for that.
Well, we're happy that you're doing it because I mean the music's awesome.
I'm just looking at the clock and we've probably gone way past what you wanted. We're probably done like 2 shows. And we haven't even told the amazing story of the show that I played at Marquette.
Well, that's right.
You know, Matt and I, we don't have a whole lot of rules on this show. If it goes an hour 45, it goes an hour 45.
We could cut it into 2. You could do part 1 and part 2.
It's our first double album, our double.
Okay, so the
double fantasy.
We had to go play at your station at your college because we were number 1.
Yeah.
And you wanted us to play so bad, you offered us a ton of money. So like to like actually make it like, cause it costs a lot to get there.
Oh,
you just fly out for one show and all that kind of thing. Right.
We're in the middle of nowhere.
So you had to pay us, you had to pay us a ton of money. And if you were paying us a ton of money, we had to come. And it was so fun. But the guy from the record, we were on this little label called ... then a little label from New York City. He misunderstood the Marquette, Michigan, Marquette University are 2 separate things.
Wisconsin.
Yes. So he flew us to Wisconsin
no.
so that we'd be close to Marquette University. And when we like get out of the plane, we're like, this is the wrong place. The real place is hours and hours and hours away.
Yeah.
So we rent a van and we're driving to what's the name of the real town? Or no, it's not Marquette University. We're driving to Marquette, Michigan.
Yeah. Marquette
Northern Michigan University is where we're at. NMU.
Right. So we're driving to Marquette, Michigan, where we are supposed to be. And there's a gigantic blizzard.
Yep.
So what should have been like a 4-hour drive turned into an 8-hour drive. And we were driving slow and careful because we didn't want to wreck.
Right.
We saw 20 cars spin off the road around us. They would either be coming up. So we were driving slow. So they'd speed past us and they'd speed past us and spin out and go off the road. And we just keep going along. And 20 cars did that. Drive past us real fast, spin out and go off the road.
It's terrifying.
And then the final like 1 or 2 hours of the drive, there was no road. At all.
That's the Upper Peninsula.
It was just like white. It was like driving down a pure white field with nothing. There was no road at all. And you just had to, you could guess that
stay between the trees.
Yeah. We stayed between the trees and we just kept driving and somebody, it was like the early days of cell phone then, but I think somebody in our car had one. And called the station, called the on-air DJ, said, we're coming. They're like, oh, okay. And so when we got there, whoever it was, one of the DJs came run up to us and we're like, we had the hugest crowd. They're all gone now. But we're so glad you're here. And there was like 20 or 30 people left. But apparently at the time we were supposed to play, we had an awesome, huge crowd. And he said that the DJs had entertained, had kept the like 20 or 30 people who were left, kept them there by like having like crab races and trying to do as much fun stuff as they could to keep everybody from going home. And it was still a pretty awesome show.
Yeah.
Everybody was there, was like super into it.
We're here. We're going to have a good time because you can't go anywhere else. So let's have fun.
Yeah. Now, I would have loved to have played for that big crowd. But it was still great to play for the people who were left. And it's such a good story.
Yeah.
You have no idea how many times together and individually, Matt and I have driven through the UP in our college days of It's completely white. Just try to stay between the trees, because in the
Yeah.
wintertime up there, people don't. I mean, it's one thing on the East Coast that's a different type of winter, but up in the UP, up in northern Michigan and like northern Wisconsin and Minnesota, it can just be downright snow. Like,
Yeah,
It
I've
kind of
ne- I've
looks
never-
like it kind of looks like when in Star Wars when they go to light speed, like just before when it
Oh
just-
yeah.
and all you see
And
is
well, so
white
then
streak.
so there's a lot of snow falling. I've
Mhm.
seen snow fall before.
Yeah.
But when we got to the town, I've never seen a town with that much snow in it. Like the side, like on either side of the sidewalks, there was like
Mountains.
6 feet of snow. I just remember the name of the two rival commercial stations in Burlington. There was the Pulse and the Buzz. I think the Buzz still exists.
those sound like alternative radio stations.
They do.
Where
Yeah.
the Pulse, where the
Yeah.
Buzz.
Yeah.
We have here where I live. We have the Core. That's our closest to an alternative station is the Core.
WRUV, that's the college station here in Burlington. They had a thing called the Core, but that was like a curated like 20 albums that the station manager would say you had to play at least one of those albums every show. So, because they were trying to like make certain albums be hits, like the station manager. I mean, who was another student, just like thought these were the best of the best, and we really should focus on these. A lot of DJs thought that was a little iffy.
We
we
had
had the same thing. We had the same thing.
a rack that was across the mixing board, and it was like the hottest 20, or the hottest in the college radio world, the hottest 20 CDs. But there was nobody saying you had to play it, but they would
Right.
strongly recommend that you would try something, because they're like, that's the whole point of what we're doing. Try something you don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, it's possible that it's not really true that you had to. I might be misremembering.
I wouldn't
that,
be
but-
surprised, because in the world of college radio, because we talked to some folks for some other college radio stations, there was ones who were trying to, kind of like an internship. They were trying to prepare you for the professional world. And in the professional world, you have to do what you're told. Otherwise, you
Right.
get to find another job. That's how it works. So
Exactly.
some of those college radio stations,
Yeah.
they would have like free air time, but during like from 6 to 6, it was, this is what you're playing. It's printed out, do the thing.
Right. Right.
And we did not work there, thank God.
No.
We got to just do whatever we wanted, pretty much, as long as we didn't say the 7 deadly words. We were good to go.
Well, I have to say it has been super awesome talking to you on our podcast. You are our first celebrity, so thank you so much.
We had to go
You're
right for a
welcome.
superstar.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
welcome.
I mean, and I think it's great because so many of the people who we worked with at Radio X in college are fans of yours as well, and most of them listen, and I know that they're going to get a huge kick out of it, and hopefully we can get a whole bunch of people to check out your new stuff as it comes out. We're really excited about those collaborations that you were talking about, and so we will definitely probably post some links on our site so people can get to the things the best way for you.
Yeah, we
is
try
there-
to put together a playlist from the show, so we'll probably put together our 10 favorite songs of yours.
Nice.
And they won't
Yeah,
all
yeah.
be like from.
Well, throw some of the ones we talked about,
Yeah.
the
for sure.
Hobbit, and I don't know.
Oh
what
yeah,
else.
yeah. The
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings one is definitely going on there because yes.
Monkey versus Robot. You kind of can't
Classic.
not put that one on, right? Like
My kids even know that song, James. My kids
I think
know
it's-
Monkey versus Robot.
I'm starting to think it's arguably one of the best records of all time.
It's
I've never-
timeless and amazing. It's super catchy. It never seems dated. Anyone can listen to it, and then they're singing along within minutes. It's an amazing song. It's an amazing album.
It's certainly go, and it's really ambitious. It also really goes off the rails. Like things fall apart again and again and again on that album, and then they come back strong again. Like it's all over the place.
Yeah.
And I think it's safe to say that if like all of our old friends from Radio X, if they liked Monkey versus Robot, they're gonna like your new stuff because although you've done different things, your vibe is all over this.
Yeah,
100%.
for sure.
And I really like James and Gravy. Because I really like that singer songwriter, that whole folk punk thing. Like I was saying, is I like, well, I'm going to check out his latest one just because I want to see, a lot of artists who have done things. I want to see what their new thing is. And I'm like, I actually really like this. This is really
thank
good.
you. Now, some of those songs, I wouldn't have chosen them without my friend Neil's encouragement, because some of them are so, they're like a little corny, a little sappy, maybe, right?
Yeah, but there's
a place
part.
for that.
That's what makes
right.
me think
but then I actually performed them, and in the studio, it was like so emotional. Like, oh, this is why people record love songs, is because it just feels incredible.
Yeah.
Like you're singing about pizza. You're not ever gonna quite hit the same emotion. Now I put a lot of real emotion into anything I sing about.
Yeah.
Which I think makes my music differ from what you would think of as like novelty rock, right? Like, I'm never like, well, I just always mean it. Whatever I'm singing about, I mean it.
Yeah.
Right. And I always feel like there's sort of like a lot of novelty rock has a sort of fakeness to it. Like the people will be like, I think this song would entertain the folks. I don't know. and that's never, I don't know. I don't really know what I'm trying to say. I do love plenty of novelty records. I just feel like what I'm doing is something a little bit different. I
agree.
Now I have one last question before we wrap this up. One last question. And I'm doing this for my good friend Matt here. I've heard one cover that you've done. You did Dead Puppies, which is from Dr. Demento.
Yep.
Yeah.
But have you ever thought of doing, because you have such a unique take on how you do things and how you write songs, have you ever thought of doing, instead of collaborations, like just like a CD of cover songs that you like, done your way?
If we did them my way, they'd end up with different lyrics and different melodies.
That still kind of works.
I would like to do that. See, I tried to add a part in Dead Puppies where I wrote new lyrics and a new melody, and they're like, you can do that, but we're gonna have to give the rights to that part to the Dead Puppies guy, because this is gonna get too complicated. I'm like, forget it then. I'll just save that for something else.
Yeah. He asked that because I collect cover songs.
Yeah,
so
he's a big fan.
Oh, I have done some. There are some cover songs that I would regularly do live.
Really?
Live, we would often do "Livin' the Vida Loca,"
Nice.
which I only know one line to, so I just repeat that line again and again.
Good.
Another one that we'd do is like a mashup between Jumpin' Jack Flash and My Generation.
Oh, I would love to hear that.
So it's like guitar's going dun dun na 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 dun dun, and on top of that I say, "People try to put us down," and it fits perfectly.
That's
Talking
cool.
about my generation just because we get around. Talking about my generation, and it's all right now. In fact, it's a gas. It just fits. It just fits perfectly.
That's really cool.
And then another one that I do, and I think I recorded this one, is I should have known better with a girl like you, that I would love everything that you do, and I do. Cuckoo Kajoo, I am the walrus.
Perfect. That's fantastic.
Well, there you go. Matt, I'll let you take it home from here.
Okay, well, thank you again so much, James, for being on the show. We certainly appreciate it. If you are new to his music, if you're new to his artistry, then definitely check him out. We're going to have some links on our website. And, again, James, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. So great that we were able to talk again decades later.
I know. Really cool. And also, you can check James out on Twitter. What's your Twitter?
On Twitter, I'm at _Kochalka.
Excellent.
Kochalka. And on Instagram, it wasn't taken, so I'm just at Kochalka.
You said did you say you're also on
TikTok.
TikTok. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I don't know what I am on TikTok. I think James Kochalka Superstar maybe. I'm not super that active on TikTok. I post when I remember. Usually the same things that I post on Instagram.
Yeah, neither are Matt and I. But Matt, where can everybody find us on the socials when we do go out there and look at them?
So on Twitter, we're at XRadioX1. You can find our podcast on Spotify, on Good Pods. We're on the Apple one, whatever that is. Anywhere that you get your podcasts, download, like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up.
Tell your friends.
Give us a
Tell
rating.
your enemies.
Tell your enemies.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. That's X Radio X. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.